This conversation is going to focus more on founders' experience, business development, and also lessons. Hey, Mohammed.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Let's dive into your journey. What is one moment during your journey that looked successfully in public, but was actually difficult behind the scenes?
In 2019, when I decided to quit my job, so by profession, I'm an engineer. So I've been working since 2008. And in 2019, I had to leave my job to focus more on my business. So to people, when everyone knows that I quit my job to focus on my business, they thought my business was doing amazing. But in fact, it was totally the opposite. So me running between my job and my company, especially my job was in Abu Dhabi and my office in Dubai and my businesses all across the UAE. So for me to be able to focus on business, to focus on how to grow, how to scale my business, I had to give up one of the two things. It's either my job or my business that I started in 2012. So to people, everyone saw that I quit my job and started working in my office, and I was like doing 7 to 3, was doing 10 to midnight. They thought it's an easier, let's say, path for me, but it was difficult as a choice that I had to make to let go of my engineering job, which I studied for 5 years, and face my parents, face everyone that I will leave this and start focusing on my business. So people thought it was an easy decision and they thought I was doing amazing, but in reality, I was doing the opposite. I had to leave my job to be able to focus on my business and scale it.
Do you call that the hardest decision you had to make during your journey?
It is one of the hardest decisions because if we go back in date, the last day in my office was December 12, 2019. And 3 months later, COVID came. So whatever I had planned for myself, for my family, for my company, I had to rework everything, shuffle things around, and try to figure out what's happening. Because in reality, back then, we didn't know what was this virus, how long it's going to stay. Whatever worst case scenario that I put in my studies, I never expected to face something like this. So for me, it was hard. It was a very hard decision, but people after that starting, blaming me for this decision. So it's not something easy to take, or it's not something easy to make. And for me, trying to figure out what to do was so pressuring on myself because I said maybe, okay, I can figure it out, but with the pressure from people surrounding me and the situation itself, it was the hardest.
Do you think this peer pressure that you had around you, people telling you that you might be doing the wrong decision, do you think that pulled you back or that pushed you forward?
See, honestly, for me, challenges always bring opportunities. If I go back to the nature of my business before COVID, it was totally different than today. Because of COVID, I had to shift or diversify my business to be able to survive. So before that, we had like 3 trademarks that we franchised from Europe. We have to run them, and then due to COVID, we had to let people go. We had to stop our franchise. Manufacturing stopped. Everything stopped. So I had to come up with another way to make money again. So I had to change. Instead of franchising, I built my own brands. And instead of staying home doing nothing, I started creating content, trying to encourage people how to do business. And I also started my project management company, so where I really bring people in and try to teach them what to do, how to do the right way.
So, of course, building a business in this market is not always easy. And walking into this business market, what is something that you misunderstood?
Well, one of the things that I really misunderstood is competition is bad for your business. Honestly, before I step in business, I thought like if there is a coffee shop and there is a coffee shop that opens next to it, is wrong. Honestly, I faced this when I opened my first coffee shop. I had to work with the landlord to rent the other units. And for me, it was challenging to be biased and say, okay, you know what? Let's open this, or let's allow this coffee shop to open next to me. Because I was the first coffee shop among all the 10 shops or 10 retail stores. So for me, I said, you know what? Let's bring more coffee shops to the area, and let us fight in a good way. We're not fighting to like beat each other, but fighting to establish something that is unique for each one of these retail stores. So for me and for a lot of people, they think competition is bad, but competition always bring more opportunities and make you stronger. So this is something I really misunderstood before I stepped into business.
Before I move into my next question, is there anyone in the audience that would like to ask a question? And if not, I'm ready. Of course.
Was it worth it to leave your job for a
Of course. I can talk about this in more details. Honestly, I enjoyed engineering, but when I started my business, because I started working in 2008, but I established my first company in 2012. During that time, I studied my master's in business administration as well. So when I started working and I see the results of my business, like everything that comes back to me, it's more fun to work for yourself and see the results and the impact on you rather than working in whatever sector and then you work from 7 to 3. You're just waiting for appreciation or raise or promotion. I don't want to encourage people to leave their jobs, but this is my personal experience. I honestly let's say if my business fails today and I get an opportunity to go to a job or start another one, I'll still start another one.
Nice. I don't want to call it failure, like I said with Tariq, but like, what was one moment where you feel like you failed, and how does that shape how you operate today?
See, say 5 years back, I was looking for cloud kitchen to operate one of my restaurants, but everywhere I go it was completely leased. I say, you know what? There is an opportunity to make my own cloud kitchen and rent it to people. But it's not my field. I really don't know much about cloud kitchen, how it operates, who are the people or the big boys in the market who are controlling this market. So I said, you know what? There is an opportunity, and I will just start my own, lease some units for myself, and the rest will go to people, and I will make money. Because obviously, if I go and see one unit now and go home, think about it for 2 or 3 days, and come back, it will be gone. So I put a huge investment in that. I started my own, and I'm always happy to like go through a new journey, but we have to always understand you cannot be good at everything. So sometimes there is an opportunity, and then there's a big share in the market that you can acquire, but it's not for you. So I did this, and it was for me a total failure because I didn't know how to run it, how to operate it, how to lease it, all these. So I had it for 2 years trying to, trial and error, just doing things that probably will work. But I ended up failing in that, and I had to shut it down. Even I wasn't able to sell it. But then, because of that, for me, whatever, like let's say, failure, it's another lesson for you to do it right next time. So for me, I'll just focus on the things that I'm 100% sure that I know how to run, how to operate, without diversifying my business in many sectors that I may or may not succeed in them.
Okay, so my question would be, do you think, okay, let's say you have two paths, the safe path or the risky path. Would you rather stay safe or take the risk?
I will not call them safe and risk, but I will do proper homework
Okay.
to be able to decide which path I will take. Personally, in business, I love challenges, but not sometimes not everything will work for you. So you have to do a proper studying to see how you can pick the right path that will generate money for you. That's something that you will make you successful.
Okay, so the UAE has built a very strong and unique ecosystems for startups. from funding to regulatory frameworks. From your experience, how do these governmental initiatives that support startups, what role do they play in enabling entrepreneurs today?
We're very blessed to be here, honestly, because I have multiple trade licenses in the UAE, but I try to open one trade license in a different country. For me, it took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it took me about 3 months to be able to open that. Okay, let's say because I'm not from that country, it might be difficult. But if we look back in the system in the UAE, for example, like a DED system or Chamber of Commerce or banking system, everything. So basically, let's look at now our new project. We're like we have a challenge that we made in the office that we will build everything from office using AI, and we will build everything using online services from the government. So trade license, we opened online in a few hours. Bank account, we did from home. Everything else that is required, like establishment card, all these, Ministry of Labor system. So everything that you can finish within hours. So for people who are, I will not call them lazy, who think it's difficult to establish a business, this might be in other countries, yes, but in the UAE, you can open it within a few hours sitting in your office. And coming to that, what we are building now is what I wanted to like prove to people that I can build full system, and it's a mobile app we built everything using Claude AI, and we're doing everything, bank account, trade license from office. So all of that will be done without stepping outside the office. So things in the UAE are very easy, and the things that you get from the government as well in terms of support, like SME, Dubai SME, Khalifa Fund, Sheikh Saud SME, all these will support you. All you have to do is just to apply, because there's no big restriction or there is no big guidelines that you have to follow. All they need from you is to start.
If you were to start again, all from the beginning, from step one, what would you do differently?
So one of the biggest mistakes that I did is I didn't enjoy the journey, honestly. So I was too busy building and making my company bigger. And during that, I had, a lot of challenges. And with challenges, I had to reshape things around. I was making money, I was happy, everything was okay, but I was not enjoying my time. So I was very busy in the business and very busy trying to scale or upgrade my business. So whatever money comes goes back into business, which I did not get the chance to enjoy. So what I will do differently is I will just focus on building a business that is sustainable, and at the same time, just focus on myself in terms of enjoying this ride and enjoying the money that comes from it.
Is there any other question from the audience? No, that leaves me to my last question. What advice would you give youngsters or people that just want to start their businesses?
It's way easier now. It's very, very easy. Opportunities are there. System is very easy. AI is there. So I don't think there is an excuse for people not to start, especially if they are having the idea. You can easily build the idea, build everything, go to market strategy, sitting at home. Back then, it was so much difficult for us when we started. It was very challenging. We had to do a lot of things. We had to hire people to help us establish that. Now it's very, very easy. All you have to do is just start. Opportunities are there, and the government is very supportive. So just start.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.